कारू न्यूज, V4 स्ट्रीम, मलनाडु टीवी इंडिया, न्यूज गांव से, संवाद सरोकार न्यूज, भारत पोस्ट न्यूज, ज्ञान एंड ऑर्गन डोनेशन इंडिया फाउंडेशन. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today's topic is not only current but very, very relevant, and the topic is secrets of successful people. But before I will go on the main topic, I would like to inform you that today is a very sad day for our country, because today Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place. On 13th April, we pay tribute to the martyrs who have sacrificed their lives in Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar. Their valor will inspire Indians for the years to come. Today, India commemorates 103 years of the incidents that took hundreds of lives in 1919. The massacre exposed the inhuman approach of the British when the British troop cold-bloodedly opened fire into an unarmed crowd without any warning by General Dyer, which had assembled at the enclosed park. Media conference with Lal Goel pays its tributes to all those who lost their lives in the brutal massacre of Jallianwala Bagh. Now, coming to our main topic, secrets of the successful people. Although there are many, many secrets, but there are few which I would like to highlight, because we have a very enlightened, rather I will say all the successful people today as a panelist. So they will be talking more about their secrets of the success which they have received or achieved. But I will give few points. First is the successful people take risks. Successful people possesses unwavering self-belief. They don't care what others think. They think outside the box. They are optimistic at heart. They are resilient. They are not afraid of failure. They possess a can-do attitude. They take responsibility for their own lives. They are self-aware, know their strengths, weaknesses. They give back. So all these are the few, very few secrets, but there are many, many more, which I'm sure our panelists who are very, very successful in their own fields will be telling their own secrets. So I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and he is Dr. Rajiv Anand, a very, very successful senior psychiatrist and marriage counselor. Dr. Rajiv Anand passed his MBBS in 1976 and did MD in psychiatry in 1980 from King's George Medical College, Lucknow. He opted to serve his country when it was very common to settle abroad for brighter future. He has been serving society with his base in Mumbai. He has clients all over India as well as in many other countries. He was honored with Lifetime Achievement Award by AMA. He has conducted more than 3,000 workshops for different groups and companies with audience size of 10 to 800. His television program on various channels have been widely appreciated for his forthright and practical approach. He is leading in the field of mental and emotional well-being for 41 years. He was president of IMA for 2 times. He was interviewed in several talk shows domestically and internationally. Welcome, Dr. Rajiv Anand, on our show. Dr. Rajiv Anand, today's our topic is secrets of successful people. And you are very, very successful, not only in your field, I will say, in the society, in your as a person yourself. Now, we would like to know if you have no reservation to disclose those secrets, so our viewers will be benefited and they may follow few of your secrets to become successful. So, secrets of successful people, Dr. Rajiv Anand, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lal. Good morning to my fellow panelists. Seniority-wise, 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒, Rajiv, and should be happy to hear that she, the youngest among all of us, Ruchitasha. And it's great to be in the company of all people who are thinking out of the box. In fact, when we decided to take this topic and requested Mr. Lal, and many times all successful people, they value their time so much that it's difficult to get them on the board. So we were afraid if any last minute cancellation come or last minute everybody cancel, then Mr. Lal himself would be right in his way to talk entirely on the 1.5 hour, because he is himself an epitome of success at his age of almost passing mid-60s. He has maintained himself active in the last 2.5 years of this difficult time. And every day there is a program of media conference with different topic, with different people. Now, what else is required to be successful? Now, I would like to review here the definition of being successful. Usually the masses in the society think the one is successful who has a big bungalow, who has accumulated big wealth, who has a big name, like film artists, or who has done something, who has achieved name, fame, money, power, so on and so forth. Many of them would call a particular politician or a particular party chief is successful. And that's what many people would say, this is what the definition of being successful is. I may have my own take on it. Fair enough, for majority of the people's mind, and not necessarily every time majority is right. A majority smokes, a majority drinks, not necessarily they can be patted on their back that you're right. Something which may not be right has to be called, may not be right. So everybody who has accumulated wealth or name or fame or money or whatever else, extracted from the world around and made in the account of his own personal account, let 1,000 people or let 1 lakh people call him successful, but I would still have my reservation about it. I would like to redefine the definition of successful as the one who has given more than what he has got from the society, who has contributed more to the society, who has given his best to the society, and his being in the world, or his being in the society, or his being in this body for whatever number of years has touched or inspired or motivated or has helped how many people in few hundred, a few thousand, a few lakhs, and so on and so forth. We all celebrate great leaders from America to India. They may or may not have wealth, but they did a lot to the society, and we celebrate them even after the departure of 60, 70 years. On that criteria, I do not know whether I would be and should be proud about being successful or not. I am not sure about it. Yet, society sees the numbers, what you've accumulated, number of flats, number of bungalows, number of cars, number of crores you have added, numbers of cities you have offices, the number of cities you have houses, or the number of lakhs of people who know you. I'm sure that what I'm saying would evoke some very healthy response from Rajiv, who is a great thinker, Rajeev Maishwari from Delhi. Is that the criteria of success which is being blindly followed by almost every youngster? Then we have been led on the wrong path. In contrast, there are enough number of people who have not only gained what they aspired, what they dreamt, much more than that, they gave back to the society what nobody before had ever thought of. And then this number of examples can be cited over here that people have been there. I have heard about Mr. Ashok being a great businessman and giving employment to a few hundred people. And 2 years back, I took appointment with him 3 weeks in advance. I said, I would like to come to meet you for 3 hours. And he was gracious enough to welcome me, and I went across to Calcutta from Bombay. I spent 3 hours at his home. And we discussed hundreds of things, and I found so many things to be learned. What one can do. Or we can, in the same breath, we can also mention about some of the other leaders like Tata, like Sun Pharma, Mr. Dilip Sangvi, or Tata, or for the matter of any other people who have employment, given employment opportunity, who open new vistas to the section of the society where their back butter is being provided. To amass wealth for individual insecurity is very minimalistic criteria of being successful. to be very popular artists and earning crores of rupees for every scene or every appearance on the screen or any live show or music program is different criteria of success. Let us shift from that criteria of success in time, because that's luring thousands of gullible people that this is what success is: to move in their big car, to have a fancy clothes, to spend money in lavish restaurants, to have coffee at 300, 400 rupees, to have lunch running into 5 figures, so on and so forth. No. Viewers who are listening to this program need to shake them up. Success may not be what you alone enjoy in your house, in your car, in your office, or in the restaurant with few friends, because many successful, such many successful people sorry, have also been seen loner the last 20 years of their life. That they have no friends. I know one gentleman who is earning around 50 lakhs rupees a month, who has about 2 lakhs worth, 200 crores worth of property. But out of 30 days, he is single, his wife is not there with him. But out of 30 days, almost 28 days he hankers for, he craves for somebody's company. He wants somebody to come and spend evening with him. And because he has earned that money hard way, that's what he thinks. So he doesn't want to spend it either. So he's a loner at the age of mid-80s. All the wealth he has earned or accumulated in being in a bungalow and having 5 servants and having 3 cars cannot bring happiness to him. And that's the real reflection of whether he is really successful or he's only superficially successful. Now, turning my topic, turning my discussion to what makes people successful. Are we working to make people admire us and say, wow, here is a doctor who is moving in a big car, he's successful. Here's a doctor who is earning this much money, he's successful. No, at least my criteria has never been. My criteria is how many people can say that you have helped them in their hour of crisis. If they remember you, your name, your imagination of your figure, imagination of your persona can bring a smile to them. That can cockle their heart. We all, in fact, I cherish the memory of some people whom I had occasion to meet. कि कभी-कभी अगर आपको 12 बजे भी या नींद में भी या सपने में भी अगर आपको उनका ख्याल आ जाए, तो उनका ख्याल आने पर आपके दिल में कुछ पॉजिटिव वाइब्रेशंस इवोक होने चाहिए, कुछ अच्छी मेमोरी इवोक होनी चाहिए, चाहे आपने उनके साथ एक कप चाय पी हो, चाहे आपने उनको कुछ दिया हो, नहीं दिया हो, उन्होंने आपको कुछ दिया हो, नहीं दिया, लेकिन आपके मन में उनके प्रति हिंदी का एक बड़ा खूबसूरत सा शब्द है, श्रद्धा का भाव पैदा होना चाहिए। हाँ, ऐसे लोग हमारी दुनिया में खत्म होते जा रहे हैं। ऐसे लोग बढ़ते जा रहे हैं जो कि पार्टी बनाते हैं, जनसेवा का आंदोलन करते हैं, उसके बाद मूवमेंट अगेंस्ट करप्शन करते हैं, करोड़पति सरपति बन जाते हैं, गवर्नमेंट बनाते जाते हैं, और वो लोग अपने आप को कहलवाना चाहते हैं पेड मीडिया से कि हम सक्सेसफुल हैं। एक नया ट्रेंड शुरू हुआ है, पेड प्रमोशन। एक नया ट्रेंड शुरू हुआ है इंस्टाग्राम पर, फेसबुक पर, इतने लोग हमको बोलते हैं हम सक्सेसफुल हैं। रुचिता इज वेल अवेयर अबाउट इट। Somehow, I have been a rebel right from beginning, and I'm no qualms in saying I'm a rebel, and I'm happier being a rebel because I'm a non-conformist. There was a term called iconoclast which was given to me in my college days, and I look for the meaning for that. Who is an image breaker, who is a statue iconoclast. Because the conventional image is one who is always full of himself. मैंने क्या बनाया, मैंने क्या कमाया, मुझे कितने लोग जानते हैं, मेरी कितनी सक्सेस है, मेरा कितना नहीं फेम है. To let each one of us, not only sitting over here, we all are reasonably mature and refined and seasoned people. 1,000 others who are listening to this program. And along with them, I'm also eager to listen to my other fellow panelists. There's a great need for reviewing and revising the definition of success. Not just once, periodically. Where are those conventionally successful dialogue writers, script writers, film directors, film producers? They were successful in their own time. Some of them we remember because of their contribution, like Vimal Roy, like Dilip Kumar, or like what was the name of many, such as Dev Burman, or many other directors of that era, or even V.R. Chopra for the matter. Why do we remember Jamshedji Tata compared to many other industrialists who are making billions in the country at present? Why we have difficulty in remembering few politicians whom we can count on the fingertips? They were the real leaders. How many people we can pick up from the political spectrum to say, इनको हमें मानने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं कि हमारे लीडर हैं? No, give it a choice to us. We know whether we'd like to use our hand or legs to welcome them. And obvious enough that what sentiments we get when we hear about them, what they deserve, whether they deserve the folded hands or whichever way our hands and other parts of the body should greet them. Anyway, I have had occasions and I have looked forward to the occasions when I can interact, when I can learn those successful people who have done wonderful job. Because I feel the real wealth lies inside, not in the bank, not in the motor.
Excuse some this. Yeah, please go ahead.
So real wealth lies inside the heart. Real wealth doesn't lie in the bank or in the property or anywhere else. And if it is inside the heart, much before you meet a person, your wealth touches the person. We all have heard about the famous quote from Emerson or so. Much before you really talk to a person, your aura reaches the person. If Ruchita is successful in her own career, even before she opens her mouth, I would come to know she's a contented person. She's not bothered about other fellow journalists, what they are doing, what they are not doing. She is not comparing herself, how much they are earning, how much they are not earning. She would say, am I capable of giving my best? And once she gets settled within, centered within, I am giving my best. Moment we realize I am giving my best, we get more. That's what all spirituality is about. Moment we get centered and we get connected with our own inner self, we get more to pass on to others. In fact, this is the irony of life. Most of us, educated, intelligent, very bright people fail to take notice of it, that those who gave to others got more. जिन्होंने दूसरों को जितना दिया उनको उतना और मिला, और जिन्होंने नहीं दिया अपने पास रखा, उनका जो था वो भी छिन गया वक्त के साथ. छिन ही नहीं गया, उनको साथ में दुख भी मिल गए, तकलीफें भी मिल गई, बीमारियां भी मिल गई. So I would say the definition of successful or secret of successful people, not only each one of us as an individual has to explore. Everyone at whatever stage one is to explore what would be lasting success. That even when I shall be 80-year-old or 90-year-old, I should look back in life and should say, मैंने 5 लोगों को भी धोखा नहीं दिया. मेरी जिंदगी में 5 लोग भी ऐसे नहीं हैं जो खड़े होकर कह सके कि मैंने उन्हें बेवकूफ बनाया, ये मैंने उन्हें मिसलीड किया, ये मैंने उनके साथ झूठ बोला. I would say this is one criteria of success. The truthfulness. Of course, I'm sure that many of the hundreds of you who are listening to this program would write me off as an outdated old man. They would say, ये value system कहाँ चलता है? Business करना है तो business करना है, business करना है तो जो भी business के ethics है उसके साथ चलना है. Who the hell you are to redefine and reestablish the new norms? Agree. जहाँ business करना है वहाँ business करना है. जहाँ business नहीं करना है वहाँ decide करिए कि हमें घर वालों के साथ, relatives के साथ, अपने friend के साथ business नहीं करना है, 24 घंटे business नहीं करना है. So I would say success people have very remarkably, very efficiently demarcated the boundaries of their business, the workplace, and the relationship, the family life, the friends. The real successful people have ensured that their life is celebrated with the near and dear ones, not get finished or ruined just in the pursuit of some extra money or extra name or fame. There's much more which can be spoken on this topic. I'm not in a hurry. I would rather be eager to listen to Ashokji and Rajiv and Ruchita. I'm here more to learn. And let me add, all successful people which I am on the path of learning about how they are and who they are always eager to learn. And all falsely successful people claim that I am a learned person. Their body language changes. I'm a learned person. And people who are, so all successful people, even at the age of any age, 70 or 80, they are eager to learn. They're ready to learn. They're ready to talk to others, or listen to others, or learn from others, from whichever source they can. So I'm waiting for everyone to help me learn few new concepts. Back to you, Mr. Lal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for giving your views. And Dr. Rajiv Anand, mantra for the success is give back to the society. The successful person is that who always consider or who think for others. If you are thinking for others, then you are a real successful person. And according to him, money is not the criteria for success. Only though very few, those who always think for others, they can be treated successful. He has given the names like Jamshedji Tata, and he says that the people give the respect to them. He says very few politicians are there whom you can take the name with the respect and you consider them as a successful person, not everyone. And similarly, he says that the success doesn't mean that you are successful only in the business. You have to be successful in all spheres of life, including your family also. If you are keeping cordial relations, giving time to your family, your relatives, friends, then you are a successful person. But if you are only successful in one particular field, then you cannot be termed as a successful person. Although he's very modest to say that he is not successful, but we know very well that how successful he is, and the way he presents himself and the way he gives his opinion in almost all the topics, because we are doing the program with him at least for last 1.5 years, and every week he's giving his views on different topics, which shows that the knowledge, and he also mentioned about the education, the knowledge that is very much required for a successful person. So thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for giving your views. And I would like to now invite my next panelist guest, and he is Mr. Ashok Bhuta. Mr. Ashok is a successful entrepreneur, founder and director of 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 Private Limited, which is running one of the largest CNF operations for Sun Pharmaceuticals from the last 35 years. With a degree in law from Calcutta University, he started his professional journey as a legal consultant and continued it for the initial 20 years of his career. Apart from this, Mr. Ashok Bhuta's passion for dentistry and the strong will to take his father, who was a renowned doctor and dentistry pioneer, Dr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 Bhuta's legacy forward, led him to establish Dental World, India's premier dental facility, having the most technologically advanced infrastructure, in-house dental laboratory, amalgamated with specialized doctors and technicians, bringing it at par to match the global standards. A devout Indian who firmly believes in nation first, always mantra, makes it a point to shell out time from his busy schedule in nurturing budding Indian entrepreneurs. He has also been the past president of the Kolkata chapter and been an active member of other prominent bodies like Calcutta Chamber of Commerce, Bharat Chamber of Commerce for a major part of his career. Welcome, Mr. Ashok Bhuta on our show. Mr. Ashok Bhuta, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand says, and Dr. Rajiv Anand is very clear in his thoughts that the money or the fame is not the criteria of success. The criteria of success is how you are caring for others, whether it includes your family, friends, relatives, as well as the society. Then only a person can be termed as a successful person. Now, you yourself is a very, very successful entrepreneur. You yourself has complete, I must say, you have seen the life everywhere. You are doing something which is again carrying the name of your father in such a way. How many sons even think about this? So it shows that you are successful in all aspects. So we would like to know the secrets of successful people. Mr. Ashok Bhuta, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, for such kind words. First of all, I must accept your gratitude for expressing Jallianwala Bagh incidents which the nation faced and the number of lives that were lost during that period, those scars are still fresh in our minds. Thank you very much again for bringing that incident back to on the stage. I agree with Dr. Rajiv's definition of success. He is very clear on one thing. Success doesn't happen only to you. You will have to give back success to your society, to your people, to your family, and everybody else. Don't keep success with yourself. It's a very, very noble mantra. Thank you, Dr. Rajiv, for giving us that definition of success. I would say that success is a very dynamic process. You see, when you are young, you cannot think, when you are evolving, you cannot think of giving your success to somebody else. That is a period when you are very selfish. You want to have all the success for yourself because you want to succeed. You are a loner. You don't want to discuss your projects or your ideas with others for fear of getting lost, your ideas being stolen by somebody. So as you evolve in life, as you age in life, you become more and more mature. So once you have reached a certain age, I would agree with Dr. Rajiv, what he says, that you should share your success. You know, an eagle is a very high-flying bird. It flies so high that it doesn't care for anybody. It wants to reach that height only. And from that height, he chooses how to fall on the prey and become successful. So human nature is also like that. He wants to fly high first, alone. Once he's successful, he can then distribute his success with everybody else. That's my personal opinion. I'm not disagreeing with anybody. Dr. Rajiv also talked about success of very famous entrepreneurs like Dilip Sangvi of Sun Pharma. They have also evolved from a very modest position in life, a position which you and me cannot imagine. He was also a loner. He never tried to mix with too many people. He's very shy of media. He concentrated on fulfilling his ambition first. Having done that, today, people call him a successful person. But can you imagine what an effort it takes to remain successful in life? It is very difficult. Having achieved success and then maintaining success, these are two different things. When you talk to a successful person, he will give you only the good things. He will never reveal his secrets of success. He will only tell you how hard he worked in life, and he got the support of his parents, he got the support of some friends, and how he struggled to achieve success. But nobody is going to tell you what are the other things he has done in life, how many people he has stepped on, how many unethical things he has done in life. Nobody is going to tell you that. So those are the real secrets of success. I'm not blaming anybody, but that's a norm. That's how you become successful. And after having become successful, you can then boast about anything else. One more thing I liked about Dr. Rajiv, what he said. Unless you are a seeker, you cannot be an achiever. you have to seek. You have to seek for success. For that, you have to have the right attitude. You have to gain the right knowledge, get the right skills. Whether you do it out of your experience or acquire it from somebody else, that's your choice. But the ultimate thing is how you become successful is the final word. Mr. Goel has also talked about the traits of a successful person, about time management, about right attitudes toward the project, or so many other factors he has talked about it. Dr. Rajiv also has very, very elaborately discussed about success and sharing success with the family, what you can give back to society. You cannot hold success to yourself. If you hold success to yourself, you become a failure in life. Those are very wonderful things. But when you actually come to hardcore planning of your success story, you will find it's a very brutal world. It may sound little upsetting for people, but it's a very brutal world. At your age, Dr. Rajiv, you and me can think of or have a mindset which is different from the youngster, especially so the current ones, the new entrepreneurs. The new entrepreneurs are real ruthless. People like you and me will not be able to face them. And they are the real successful guys. Maybe after, say, 30, 40 years, they will say, okay, now we need to share our success. So I think जिंदगी में कामयाब तो होना ही चाहिए, हर आदमी को कामयाब होना चाहिए, लेकिन काबिल होना चाहिए. काबिल रहोगे तो आपकी कामयाबी का मीनिंग है, अदरवाइज उसका कोई मीनिंग नहीं. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Bhutta, for giving your views, and Mr. Ashok Bhutta endorsed what Dr. Rajiv Anand has said. But he added one very interesting point, and that is that once a person who wants to be become a successful, he or she always keep some secrets, and which are untold. And he mentioned that to become a successful person, one has to work hard, no doubt about it. One has to spend lots of time, clear thoughts, everything is there. But many, many times they have to do many unethical works, which nobody shares. So according to him, when we are talking about the successful people, we can talk to them about them, but we are not aware what unethical work they have done initially, because initially and everybody wants to be very, very successful, and at that time he was not thinking about giving back to the society. But once he becomes successful, definitely then his mindset change, and then he start thinking to give back to the society and preach others or tell others that, see, if you want to become successful, these are the mantras. But in that mantra also, the crucial mantra is what unethical work someone has done or not. And he has mentioned about Mr. Dilip Singhvi, the sun pharmaceutical pioneer, the person who has created a empire only with his hard work, and he becomes successful. So according to Mr. Ashok Bhutta, one can be successful. Only thing is that whatsoever vision he is having, he has to keep that vision. But gradually, because according to him, the success is a dynamic thing which changes as per the time. And according to him, once he becomes successful, then the perception changes. And then the give back to the society starts, or caring for the family and others start. So he says successful, a person to become a successful is a very good thing. But he also mentioned the youth or that young generation, today's generation, are quite ruthless. because they have to become successful. But definitely after a period of 30-40 years, then they will also think in the way what the present 60s plus people are thinking. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Bhutta, for giving very, very clear views. I'm sure today's program is very enlightening for everyone, whether it's a senior adult or youth, because they are getting the first hand, or some people, with the people who are very successful in their field, their experiences which they are sharing. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Bhutta, for sharing very nice experiences. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. Mr. Rajeev Maishwari is a business and startup advisor. He has over 25 years of management and consulting experience across industries, and has worked as CEO for a decade and in leadership roles with New York Stock Exchange listed companies such as Accenture and WNS. Mr. Rajiv leveraged his deep experience while connecting the dots across all functional areas and digital transformation. He is an innovator and has led projects that have been recognized internationally by renowned organizations such as Financial Times and Zoho. Mr. Rajiv is a chartered accountant and an MBA from IIM Bangalore, where he was part of the director's merit list. He is a thought leader, author, and keynote speaker who enjoys sharing his perspectives at events, webinars, and workshops. He is the co-founder of FromTheExpertsMouth.com, a platform that empowers people from over 140 countries to realize their innate potential. Welcome, Mr. Rajeev Maishwari on our show. Mr. Rajeev Maishwari, you have heard two stalwarts of their field, Dr. Rajiv Anand as well as Mr. Ashok Bhutta. They have given their views. Dr. Rajiv Anand very clearly says, give back to the society, success mantra. Mr. Ashok Bhutta agrees with it, but he added one thing, that all successful people, there is something which is untold, that is unethical work, which everyone, exceptionals might be, but according to him, many or almost everyone has done some unethical work which they are not disclosing. Now, you being a advisor for the business people as well as for startups, and when we talk about startups, generally we think of the youth, and as Mr. Bhutta has mentioned, that the young generation or those who wants to be successful has to be youth, rudeless, very, very rude initially, because they have to be successful. We would like to know your views on the secrets of successful people. Mr. Rajiv Maishwari, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, firstly for inviting me to the platform and asking me to share my views. It's absolutely an honor and privilege. And as Mr. Bhutta also mentioned, gratitude for at least remembering the massacre of the Jallianwala Bagh incident. I think we often forget of things which happened hundreds of years ago, but it is an essential part of our history and we should never ever forget that. Coming to the topic of success, Mr. Goel, you had mentioned some 6-7 attributes, which of course are universal. There is absolutely no debate. All of those things are required, whether it's hard work, resilience, having your own mind, thinking out of the box, and so on and so forth. Dr. Rajiv Anand gave a very interesting perspective, which I would kind of like to expand upon. But since I believe a lot in the power of data, the power of scientific evidence and a process of doing things, that's essentially what my professional training is. I have kind of applied that to today's talk. So what I did was a small experiment. Of course, it wouldn't stand the scrutiny of the scientific community, but for whatever it is worth, I put up a poll on social media asking a basic question. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you think of success? And I'd given people 4 options. The first one was career. The second one was money. The third one was fame. And the fourth one was purpose, or to make an impact. And before I tell you the results, let me tell you what I intuitively thought my network is going to respond with. And I thought, these are the kind of people who are more active on social media. So, and they are obviously wanting to do something in their profession, because this was on LinkedIn, and essentially the professionally minded people are on LinkedIn. So I would have imagined that probably 60% people would have chosen career and money, or combination of the two. Some 10-20% would have chosen fame, and maybe 10-20% would have chosen purpose or making an impact. But when the results started coming in, I was completely surprised. And in fact, in our family also, we had a discussion on how did this happen. Now, let me tell you the results. 80% of the people voted for purpose or making an impact. Only 20% people voted for career and money, and 0% people voted for fame. And I was kind of in a spin, because when you are preparing for a talk on success, the most intuitive, the most natural reaction, both from a speaker perspective as well as from an audience perspective, is to kind of figure out what will it take to be successful in my career, what will it take to be successful wealth-wise or in terms of material possessions, etc. I think that goes without a doubt. Dr. Rajiv Anand is, of course, put a spanner in the works by completely changing the direction of what success means. And the little survey that I did also kind of shows that it is not just, people like Mr. Anand, whether it's about his age group or profile or success, but these are also youngsters. And, as Mr. Ashok Buddha also referred, some of these are young and so-called ruthless entrepreneurs, but they are out there to make an impact, and they're out there to fulfill a purpose. Why did this happen? And is it representative of the world that we live in? The answer is probably no. And when I think about it, at a more deeper level, I think I would count myself to be extremely, grateful, and I have a sense of gratitude for the kind of network that I have built, because these are the kind of people who interact with my feed and who are sort of in my more active network. It just probably goes to show that because of the vibes that I exude and the kind of interactions that I have, I am interacting more with such sort of people. I do not honestly believe that this is the state of the world out there. I think the survey results are a bit lopsided. But this brings me to the second question. And, coming to the secret part, I will at least outline my secret sauce and my understanding of the world in terms of what it takes to be successful. The first question that comes to mind when I look at the results of the survey versus what I empirically see the people chasing or working towards, they are diametrically opposite. So, for example, when we talk about fame, most of the people are interested in posting a lot of content out there on social media. They are interested in the paid awards that Dr. Anand spoke about, stuff like that. Essentially, that is geared towards attracting fame. But when you look at it, you are essentially trying to make an impact or have a career or whatever. So why is this dichotomy? And I think in order to understand this dichotomy, we need to really, really go back into our early childhood, because that is where, neurologists will tell you most of your beliefs and your behaviors for the future are kind of hardwired. What a typical Indian child goes through in childhood is pressure from the parents, from the society, from the teachers, from everybody that basically matters to the child, that this is a formula for success, and there is a examination, and you have to do well in the examination, and the numbers in that examination means admission into a college, and that is essentially your blueprint or template for success. This results in two things. One is convergent thinking, essentially the fact that we are only supposed to arrive at the right answer, and we are not supposed to think creatively or out of the box. As Mr. Goel mentioned earlier, one of the traits of successful people is that they are able to have a mind of their own. If they are able to be creative, those things essentially go out of the window. The second thing which happens is, because of the continuous pressure and the chain of events that we go through, we start living life in an autopilot sort of mode. And I think this is best explained by Dr. Daniel Kahneman, who's a Nobel Prize winner in the field of behavioral economics. And he speaks about the system 1 and system 2 sort of thinking. System 1 in a nutshell is essentially where you are on autopilot mode, where you're just going with the flow and you're not questioning things, because your brain is wired to react to environment, circumstances, and situations around you automatically. And I believe that this is the kind of life that most people lead, because of which they are not in system 2, which is essentially a slow, or what Daniel Kahneman calls fast thinking versus slow thinking. Slow thinking essentially means you're taking a step back and deliberating upon, what the bigger picture is, what is your purpose, what are you here for, at a broader level. But it could, of course, mean different things in terms of your career or in terms of your projects, initiatives, business, entrepreneurship, what have you. The biggest reason I feel, because the reason for this dichotomy is that we are not slowing down to really think about things and put things in perspective. What is it that success means should be the most important question. But unfortunately, that question is kind of swept under the carpet. I'm very glad that we are having this kind of discussion today, and Mr. Goel and Dr. Rajiv Anand set the tone for firstly defining what is the success, because that sets the tone for everything else in life. So in a nutshell, if I were to say, what is that secret? I think it has to align four things. The first thing is your purpose, and people would call it by different names. Some people may call it, what is your soul? What is, the spirituality behind it? What is the purpose of your existence, or what is the purpose of your career? I would put it in a much more pragmatic manner. Going on by what Mr. Bhuta said, this purpose would actually depending on the stage of life you are at. So while there is no doubt or debate about the importance of giving, I think one can only give as much as they have got. You cannot give what you do not have. So you need to build, you need to acquire before you need to start giving, because only then will it be authentic giving. So at an early stage of the career, there are different aspirations. Like I have been through the grind. I've had some, 10, 11 promotions in a span of 12, 14 years. And that time it was all about, my success, building things for the organization, growing the revenues, growing the profitability, etc. And now I'm at a different stage where my purpose is, completely different. It is about enabling other people, because I realize that, when it comes to asking myself the question, what makes me happy? It is not so much about what I have achieved or what my organization has achieved, but it is, am I able to enable others? Am I able to help others? And that gives me the kind of happiness that nothing else gives me. So, coming back to aligning the four pillars, one is, of course, the purpose. The second is the mind. And here I spoke about the system 1 versus system 2 thinking. There are a lot of things that we can do on the cognitive side. But, I'll leave that to experts such as Dr. Rajiv Anand to kind of explore the workings of the human brain. And that may require a different session completely. The third thing, which is, the most underrated thing when it comes to success, after the purpose or the soul and the mind, is really the body, which essentially in this terms means taking action. Because a lot of times we have good intentions, we have noble intentions, we have dreams, we have desires, we have aspirations, but we do not follow it up by actions. And there are many reasons for that. Most often, I find that it is lack of clarity of thought about what exactly needs to be done. And because we either overanalyze or for different reasons we procrastinate. But the simplest thing to do to be able to be successful is to just start taking action today and right now. I think there is nothing else, as they say, nothing succeeds like success. And you can only build a large success on small successes. We've seen examples like the mountain man who started moving one stone after another and moved the complete mountain single-handedly. We've seen examples of a person who's built a 1,000-acre forest single-handedly. So you just need to take action and it will accumulate. And I think the fourth thing, apart from the soul, the mind, and the body, is really about the heart. And here, all I would like to say is, take these pauses, take these introspection breaks, and figure out, is this something that fills your heart with joy? Is this something that you enjoy doing? And you will automatically get an answer. This is not something that anybody else in the world can tell you. But if it doesn't make you happy, whatever you are doing, and whether you're following somebody else's template for success or you're creating your own, if this doesn't fall in place, then go back full circle and try and see how these four things align. So that is my kind of 4-step formula. It has developed organically. I wouldn't say this is what I started off doing, from my academic period or from my early stage of my career, or whether it was about my 10 years as CEO. But this is kind of evolved organically. It again does not need to be one fixed purpose, because a lot of times purpose and passion kind of become overrated, and they become these huge, big things which on where there is an implicit pressure on people to have a purpose or a passion which is larger than life, which kind of changes the world. It doesn't need to be like that. I'll give you like a small example, and this again goes back to what one of the speakers mentioned about learning. Like I was in my 40s, my children were growing up, and my son was interested in programming. I am a commerce background person, and I thought, this sounds interesting. Can I challenge myself to pick up these things with him? And over a period of the next 3-4 years, I not only learned programming, I learned artificial intelligence, machine learning, things which the techies boast of, and went on to, because of my business understanding, went on to apply some of these things to the business context. And those kind of initiatives, projects, they were recognized internationally. And I was competing with people who had millions of dollars of funding, the best data scientists and AI ML engineers in their arsenal. The short point is that if there is a willingness to learn, if we are able to reignite that spark of curiosity, which we somewhere probably lost during our childhood because we were told to be compliant, we were told to be convergent, we were told to crack the education system. If we are able to understand, what has happened over this journey, whether you are 25 years of age or, 45 or 65, doesn't matter. I think you can reclaim that back at any point in time. So those are some of the simple things we can do to operationalize this definition of success. I think, since we've spoken a lot about what the definition of success is or what it should be, I think it's also important to focus on how do we operationalize that definition and how do we bring it into practice. So those were my thoughts on aligning the 4 aspects of the soul, mind, body, and heart, and bringing it into practice through whatever levers one needs to apply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. Mr. Rajeev Maishwari, before I will just summarize, I would like to say this is called the secret of success. The way he has explained, even he was a CEO and whatnot, but he has done the work. He knows what is the secret of success, as he has done some survey and he found that the fame has nothing to do, money has nothing to do. The main is what impact you are leaving on others. So that is a secret of success. The successful person is that who can impact others. And Mr. Rajeev Maishwari mentioned that according to him, there are 4 pillars for the success. One is purpose, soul and mind, body and heart. And if we will combine all and we will apply the levers for these, definitely one can be a successful. Paucity of time, I would not like to summarize, although today I am also learning from the experts. They are successful people of the life. I think if I will learn even 10%, I will try to achieve at least 1% of the success what they have achieved in their life. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajeev Maishwari, for giving your such thoughtful views. I'm sure our viewers are quite enlightened. Now, I would like to invite my last but not the least panelist of today's, and she is Miss Ruchitasha. Miss Ruchitasha is a renowned journalist, yoga teacher, and founder of Hill Station, Mumbai. She is a passionate in whatever she does. As a journalist, she has covered thousands of human angle stories. As a yoga teacher, she has given a birth to Train Yoga campaign. Applying innovative ideas for humanity is her forte. She is having online group sessions, teaching experience from 2018 till now. She has taken over 600 online sessions during the pandemic alone. Oh, that's very good. Although I have also done, as Dr. Rajiv Anand mentioned, I have done a bit more, about some 700 plus every day, but you have done 600. It's a very, very, very much appreciable thing to do during this pandemic time. And she is also doing the personalized session from 2012 at present. And she has done for last 10 years personalized one-to-one sessions. She is having she is with the Midday Mumbai, which is a renowned afternoon or noon paper in Mumbai. And from 2012, she has written over 3,000 articles on a spectrum of topics concerning yoga, pranayam, mudras, and meditation for better health, longevity, better living, pain management, treating medical conditions, and a variety of allied aspects. She is a Yoga Certification Board of India Ayush Ministry, Certified Yoga Teacher, Level 1 and 2. S. Vyasa, Bangalore, Master of Science in Yoga Therapy. S. Vyasa, Bangalore, Yoga Instructor Course. University of Mumbai, Diploma in Yoga. Several workshops in various forms of yoga, pranayam, and meditation. Welcome, Ms. Ruchitasha on our show. Ms. Ruchitasha, you have heard Dr. Rajiv Anand, Mr. Ashok Bhuta, as well as Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. And they have given their angles, their thinking, their own success, secrets of success. You are also a successful lady in this world, because you have not only created something differently, the journalism, because the journalist today is nothing but tutu meme, while you are giving to the society the impact, what Mr. Rajeev Maishwari mentioned about yoga, something positive you are giving. What Dr. Rajiv Anand mentioned, you are giving back to the society. So this is also a secret of success. We would like to know more about it, the secret of successful people. Ms. Ruchitasha, please. Please unmute, please unmute.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv Anand ji and Mr. Goel, for inviting me and giving this opportunity. You all are big shot. I don't know how much I can say and how it is worthy, but still I'll try something. मैंने जो सोचा था कि मैं ये बोलने वाली हूँ, अब वो सब कुछ चेंज कर दिया है, because मैंने कुछ और ही बातें सुनी है यहाँ पे. So बेसिकली सक्सेस, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो सक्सेस की डेफिनेशन है, इट चेंजेस ओवर द टाइम. हर एज में हमारी सक्सेस की डेफिनेशन अलग अलग होती है. जब हम बच्चे होते हैं तो हम कुछ और चीजों को सक्सेस मानते हैं, फिर और बड़े होते हैं. सो ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम द डेफिनेशन ऑफ सक्सेस चेंजेस फॉर द पीपल. ऑफ कोर्स व्हाट डॉक्टर राजीव हैज सेड, इट इज थॉट प्रोवोकिंग. पूरी तरह से हमें सोचने पे मजबूर करता है कि क्या हम इसी दिशा में है या नहीं. मिस्टर अशोक ने जो कहा कि व्हाट इज द प्रैक्टिकल वर्ल्ड इज गुड, मतलब व्हाट वी सी, जो भी मोटिवेशनल सेल्फ हेल्प बुक हम पढ़ते हैं वो और रियलिटी दोनों बहुत फर्क है दोनों में. वो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है प्रैक्टिकल वर्ल्ड का, जो मिस्टर अशोक भूता ने कहा. और सर राजीव जी, आपने भी जो बातें कही मेरे लिए बहुत, अल्टीमेटली दैट जॉय, कि आर यू फीलिंग गुड आफ्टर डूइंग दिस, that question, that pause, that is very very important nowadays. So जर्नलिज्म के साथ योग में आने का एक बहुत बड़ा जो मोटिवेशनल फैक्टर था मेरे लिए, वो यही था कि we are just running all the time, we are not thinking at all. And then ऐसा थोड़ा रुको, थोड़ा सोचो, थोड़ा देखो क्या कर रहे हो, सही है जो कर रहे हो. तो अपने आप के साथ कनेक्ट होना आज के समय में मेरे ख्याल से सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है. तो अभी के समय में तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट अगर कोई सक्सेस होगी हमारी, तो वो है थोड़ा सा सोशल मीडिया से, मतलब एटलीस्ट मेरी जनरेशन के लिए तो यही है कि आप बहुत सारा समय इंस्टाग्राम और बहुत सारे अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म पे बिता रहे हो, आप दुनिया को ही देख रहे हो. यू टेक ऑफ दैट टाइम एंड गेट सम टाइम फॉर योर सेल्फ. Just connect with yourself, ask some questions to yourself. ये आज के समय में सक्सेस की बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट परिभाषा हो सकती है. इट्स अ वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट डेफिनेशन. और एक चीज, मैंने एक संस्कृत का अभी श्लोक पढ़ा था, I'll just repeat it in front of you. वाणी रस्वती यस्य यस्य श्रमवती क्रिया, लक्ष्मी ही दानवती यस्य सफलम तस्य जीवितम. वाणी रस्वती यस्य मतलब आपकी बोली कैसी है, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. यस्य श्रमवती क्रिया, आपकी क्रियाएं, आप जो भी एक्शन लेते हो वो कितनी इंटेंस है, वो किस तरह की है, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. लक्ष्मी दानवती यस्य, मतलब जो लक्ष्मी का है दान अगर आप कर पाते हो, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. और सफल जीवन का यही रहस्य है, सफलम तस्य जीवितम. तो ये तीन चीजें संस्कृत के एक सुभाषित में कही है. और समहाउ अगर आप ब्रॉडर एस्पेक्ट में देखेंगे तो ये तीन चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट है. मैं जस्ट थोड़ा सा रिसर्च कर रही थी कि व्हाट इज फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ सक्सेसफुल पीपल, व्हाट इज सीक्रेट्स. गूगल आजकल बहुत हेल्पफुल होता है हमें, तो बहुत सारे जो इम्पोर्टेंट एट्रीब्यूट्स होते हैं वो सब थे, लेकिन एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है जो आज के हम लोग सब मिस कर रहे हैं, और वो है हेल्थ. अगर आपको सक्सेसफुल होना है तो आपको सबसे पहले हेल्दी होना पड़ेगा. अगर आपका शरीर ठीक से काम कर रहा है, माइंड ठीक से काम कर रहा है तभी आप कोई और काम कर सकते हैं। तो और जो आज की जनरेशन है जो जंक फूड बेस्ड है, ना कोई लाइफस्टाइल है, खाने पीने की कोई टाइमिंग्स नहीं है, बहुत लंबे अर्स तक ये नेटफ्लिक्स मतलब जो वेब सीरीज का जमाना है, तो वी आर स्पेंडिंग लॉट्स ऑफ टाइम इन unnecessary activities rather than necessity, and I think so that is very important, that time management or that discipline is required in today's generation to be successful, especially अगर आप थोड़ा समय अपने लिए नहीं निकाल पाते हो, if you are not spending 1 hour for yourself, you are not focusing on your health, you are not giving to your time to your mental health, you are not doing any kind of spiritual activity, then in long run it is going to be fatal, because success is not a permanent thing, it has ups and downs, and to survive, और मतलब एक materialistic चीजों में अगर आप आगे बढ़ भी गए लेकिन आप internally खोखले हैं, आप अंदर से अगर पूरी तरह से आप गहराई में नहीं उतरे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली ऐसा हो सकता है कि एक माइलस्टोन मिलने के बाद भी अगर शायद वो माइलस्टोन से आप नीचे गिरे तो आप टिक नहीं पाओगे। So if we want to be successful for our entire life, if we want to make our life successful, then it is important that you focus on your health. If you give importance to your mental health, you give importance to your emotional health. So overall, for me, success mantra is becoming healthy from all fronts. Because if my mind is healthy, I can think clearly. If my body is healthy, I can take actions, I can do things, I can be more productive. So overall, everything is revolving around your health. So according to me, the mantra of success is good health with determination for other things. Clarity of mind and everything comes after that. And this is what I have learned from, due to my professional background, I have got an opportunity to talk with so many people, different kinds of people. कभी वो senior citizen थे, कभी वो कोई entrepreneur थे, कभी कोई गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर थे, कभी कोई डॉक्टर्स थे, अलग अलग लोगों से मैंने बात की है। सबसे बात करके एक चीज तो क्लियर हो गई है, मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें हमें आज सोशल मीडिया पे मिल रही है, लेकिन एक चीज है जिसको बहुत ज्यादा इग्नोर कर ही रहे हैं हम, जानते हुए भी, मतलब हमारे सामने पड़ा है लेकिन वी आर नॉट गिविंग अटेंशन टू दैट, एंड दैट इज आवर हेल्थ। सो ओवरऑल फॉर मी, आई थिंक सो nowadays we need to be more focused, because बीमारियां बहुत बढ़ रही है। I can see people are suffering a lot, and you cannot do anything if you are not healthy. So you have to be very healthy. For that, whatever you have to do, you must do. उसके बाद आप अपने पढ़ाई के या आपके प्रोफेशनल कमिटमेंट्स के लिए जैसे आप समय निकालते हैं, वैसे ही हमें अपने आप के लिए समय निकालना है। और बहुत सारे इवन प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैज टाइम फॉर हिमसेल्फ, he is doing some physical activity every day. In fact, every successful people, they have time for themselves, for their health. So we should focus on that area, क्योंकि उसमें ऐसा है कि अगर हमने अभी ध्यान नहीं दिया तो फिर वो हमारा ध्यान नहीं देगा, then we will not be able to do anything. We have to be very dependent. So to becoming successful, you must focus on your well-being overall. That's it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ruchitasha. And Ms. Ruchitasha has given a new angle for our today's program. She says that the health is the key factor for a successful person. She says that if your body is healthy, if your mind is healthy, then you can think very positively. You can take decisions which will lead to your success. And if your body is healthy, you can execute those decisions. So she says that everyone whosoever is successful are giving the time even for their own well-being. And she has given she mentioned about our honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, that he is also giving time and he is doing yoga and everything to keep himself fit physically as well as mentally, so that the decisions he can take. So according to Ms. Ruchitasha, one should do all those things if to become a successful, whatsoever you are doing, please think about your own body, your mind, you think about your own self, and then the success will be there. And we can very clearly see in Ms. Ruchitasha how she thinks about herself, and that's why she's so successful. Thank you very much, Ms. Ruchitasha, for giving your views. Now, my next round is questions which I am going to ask. My first question goes to Dr. Rajiv Anand. Dr. Rajiv Anand, what cost one has to pay to be successful? As Ms. Ruchitasha mentioned about health, Mr. Ashok Bhutta mentioned about unethical practices. Mr. Rajeev Maishwari said about all the 4 pillars. Now, keeping all the views, and because you are interacting with so many people, being a leading psychiatrist, we would like to know what cost one has to pay if he or she becomes, whenever they become successful. Dr. Rajiv Anand, please.
If I draw a parallel analogy, how much I should pay for a lunch or a dinner? Should I pay 10,000 rupees for my breakfast, or 20,000 rupees for my lunch, or 20,000 rupees for my dinner? Then obviously I may get probably the apparently very attractive breakfast or lunch or dinner, but that would not be healthy for me in the long term. So if a huge obscene cost is to be paid for achieving apparent success, then it's not worth. We all are aware about people have lost their health to achieve a flimsy, transient success. People have lost their life partner forever. People have had a lot of marital disharmony and marital conflict leading to almost divorce in hundreds of cases. To be successful in industry of various kinds, let us leave them unnamed. And people have distanced, alienated every near and dear ones, relatives and friends, as a way of course for achieving success on a particular track, not complete track. A specific answer to your question, Mr. Lal, is that any cause for achieving success should be balanced, should be easy, should not pinch us, should not pinch those around us. Maybe a quantum of success may remain less, because most apparently successful people, they have targets, they have deadlines, they have missions, never ending. From 1,000 to lakhs to crores to billions to whatnot. There has to be somewhere a limit. Are we enjoying our success? Are our near and dear ones enjoying our success? Can we spread our success to as many people in our circle who matter to us or whom we think that they matter to us? One of the small criteria which I would like to share over here, that any successful person, a real successful person, despite he being thinker, a great thinker or a great executioner or a great planner, I've had a opportunity to interact with many, including those who are sitting over here. That person has to be in this moment for some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. So it's very acknowledgeably very appreciable that Rajeev Maishwari, a great man in his own field, in his own right, Ashok Bhutta ji, who has hundreds of employees asking for his attention every minute. Ruchitasha, who has deadline for submitting articles by 12 o'clock or 12:30 or 1 o'clock, who often is in my head, give me instant answer for my query or for my article. And I'm always in the moment with some other thing. I'm not a very popular person to be to the journal's favorite list, because I'm always busy with something. Till I'm over through that, then I move to the next topic. So one of the criteria for being successful, to be in this moment, to be with whatever you are doing, to be with whatever person you are. Back to you, Mr. Lal.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand. Now my question goes to Mr. Ashok Bhutta. Mr. Ashok Bhutta, when we talk about successful person, and we know that once a person becomes successful, then some power he enjoys, whatsoever power. And there is a very famous saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Do you think this is also a very, very negative point for those who achieve the success and they enjoy that absolute power? Mr. Ashok Bhutta, please. Please unmute. Please unmute.
My views very seriously on some aspects of my talk about unethical things which you are forced to do when you are trying to evolve. But don't take that seriously. It's not there with everybody. I don't think so. But I very much appreciate Ruchita's thoughts. She has talked about Kriya and Karam. क्रिया is something which we do in our रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में हम लोग जो करते हैं क्रिया. And कर्म is something which you do for your soul. Dr. Rajiv said, giving back to society, that is a karma. You are doing it for your soul. Thank you very much, Ruchita, for giving us this thought. Now, regarding Mr. Goel's question, let me tell you one thing. As I've said, different phases in life teaches you different things. So while in one phase of your growth, you are having a different mindset, a certain mindset, not necessarily while you become successful, you carry the same mindset. Those things keep changing. I would not like to mention about corruption and things like that on this panel. Or that's part of our life in India or across the globe anywhere. Corruption is rampant. People use this ladder to succeed at one point in time in their lives. But things keep changing. As I've mentioned in my last section of this session, कामयाब नहीं, काबिल होना पड़ेगा. अगर आप काबिल हैं तो कामयाबी तो आपके पीछे पीछे दौड़ेगी. तो वही चीज है जो हम लोग को अपने आप को भी सिखाना है और अपने नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को भी सिखाना है कि बिकम काबिल. Then you don't have to prove to anybody. You have to just to prove to yourself. Success will chase you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bhuta, for giving your reply. Now my question goes to Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. Mr. Rajeev Maishwari, as we have seen, and it is many times it happens, the person who has to become successful, as Mr. Bhuta mentioned about the ruthlessness, and that time the family suffers a lot. We have even seen the, I can take the name of Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation. He was a very, very successful. We all praise him. We all adore him. We all pray. We follow him. Try to follow. We can't follow his principles, but we know how his family suffered. So my question to you is, for a successful person, what is the mantra so that the family should not suffer? Because you become a top person, but what about the family? Because many cases, I think if you go for a survey for this also, you will find, I think more than 80%, the family always stable, that he's busy always in the work and no time for the family. Even doctors' family, they always say, father is always on call or my mother is always on call and we have no time. They have no time for us, for everyone almost. What do you say about this, Mr. Maishwari?
Thank you firstly for asking this question. It's absolutely pertinent question, and I'm immediately reminded of something that someone said to me in my consulting days. And just to put some background or perspective to this, the consulting lifestyle essentially was what we called living out of a suitcase lifestyle. 5 days we were at the client side, depending on the location. It could be anywhere in the country or outside the country as well. And the weekends we would spend at home. And somebody who was quitting Accenture in those days, I asked him, why are you quitting? You're doing so well. You are on partner track and doing really great work. You enjoy doing it as well. And he said just one thing to me. And he said, I don't want to see my children growing horizontally. I want to see them growing vertically. And being consultants, we speak in this sort of language. But to translate it, what essentially it means is that when I'm at home, the only thing I see is my child sleeping, hence horizontal. And when what I want to do is see them vertically, which is awake, right? And the way he put it, as you can imagine, it's probably been 16, 17 years since that statement was made to me. And I still remember it as distinctly as ever. I would only say one thing. Going back to, whatever we've been discussing about success, it's not necessary that there is only one template for success. So for example, if you enjoy consulting, if you enjoy a traveling job, if you enjoy a sales job, it is not that you cannot make a balanced life, being successful on both the family front, health front, as well as career front, by doing something else which is slightly off the beaten track. So I chose to do a job which did not require as much traveling. I joined WNS in the CEO's office. That on paper was not requiring me to travel. Then they again put me into travel. Again, I changed tracks. So I kept kind of experimenting with my career and finding things, asking those questions again, same things I've spoken earlier. I think this has to be an organic process. Pretty much all the speakers have mentioned about different phases of life. I think there are certain high pressure jobs which take a toll on you, which at some points in time in your life or in your stage of life, you are okay to do, right? So I would compare it to a sprint and a marathon. So there are segments of your life which you can run as a sprint, but if you try to keep sprinting all your life through, you will essentially break down. So you have to figure out, what is the phase where you want to take a sprint? Where is the phase where you want to conserve energy, take a marathon sort of approach and focus on, a holistic view to life, whether it is family, as you asked, or whether it is about, health, as Ruchita mentioned. And what we've seen in the last 2 years, building up your immunity, building up your health, is probably the most important thing that we could do to even survive, forget about being successful. So those are my 2 cents, and hopefully that gives some perspective to people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. Now my question goes to Ms. Ruchitasha. Ms. Ruchitasha, there is a famous saying, although Mr. Rajeev Maishwari also mentioned that nothing succeeds like success. Now you have mentioned, आपने क्योंकि आपने हिंदी में कहा था तो आप कर्म की बात की थी. हमने पढ़ा है, देखा तो नहीं है, कि जब अर्जुन को कहा गया कि आपको बाण से निशाना लगाना है, तो उसको सिर्फ वो आंख नजर आ रही थी, उनको सिर्फ आंख नजर आ रही थी, उन्हें कुछ भी बाहर की चीजें नहीं दिख रही थी. उसको दूसरे वे में अगर हम कहें तो ये कि जब आप कोई भी काम करें, फोकस होके करिए. तो जब आप फोकस होके हम कर रहे हैं उस काम को, उसमें हमें कुछ घंटे, कुछ दिन, कुछ साल लग सकते हैं, और उस वक्त हमारा फोकस वहीं होना है. जब हमारा फोकस वहां होगा, तो आप हेल्थ की बात कर रहे हैं, डॉक्टर राजीव आनंद कह रहे हैं कि हम गिव बैक टू द सोसाइटी कर रहे हैं, सब लोग अलग अलग यूज कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारा जो सक्सेसफुल का मंत्र है वो तो फोकस होना चाहिए, तभी हम उस जो मछली की आंख है उसको भेद पाएंगे. क्या कहना चाहेंगे रुचिता जी? आप अनम्यूट करिए प्लीज अपने को.
जी, बहुत सही कहा आपने कि when you are focused that I want to achieve this goal, so you are just into it, मतलब आप इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं सोचते. लेकिन there are 2 things, short term goals and long term goals. So जैसे मैंने कहा था कि सक्सेस की डेफिनेशन हमारी एज के हिसाब से बदलती है. छोटे बच्चे, जो 2 साल का बच्चा है, उसको वो अपने पैरों पे चल रहा है, दैट इज सक्सेस फॉर हिम. एंड दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग कि एक साइकिल वो वापस आती है जब आप 85-90 इयर्स के होते हैं, तब भी आप उसी फेज पे होते हो कि आप 2 पैर पे अपने आप चल पाते हो, तो मतलब यू आर सक्सेसफुल. तो सक्सेस की डेफिनेशन इज वेरी सब्जेक्टिव. व्हेन वी से दैट वी हैव टू बी फोकस्ड ऑन व्हाटएवर वी आर डूइंग, it also means that you should be able to do that particular in a proper way. तो अगर मुझे फोकस होके कोई काम करना है और उसके लिए मुझे जो वैल्यू एडेड चीजें उसमें देनी है, तो उसमें मेरा हेल्थ भी आ जाता है, फैमिली भी आ जाता है, सब कुछ आ जाता है. बिकॉज मैं फोकस रहूंगी लेकिन मेरी हेल्थ ठीक नहीं है, तो मैं कैसे फोकस रहूंगी? सो एवरीथिंग इज इंटरकनेक्टेड. मुझे अगर फैमिली में इश्यूज चल रहे हैं, मैं इमोशनली डिस्टर्ब हूँ, मेरी पर्सनल लाइफ बहुत डिस्टर्ब है, तो मैं कैसे भी करके अपने सक्सेस, मेरे एजेंडा में मैं फोकस रह ही नहीं पाऊंगी. So it is a combined thing. It is not just कि अच्छा I'm focused so I'm just going office. Now I'm sitting for 12 hours, 15 hours in the office. अब खाने में जो हो, family का जो हो, I'm just living a sedentary lifestyle, so I'm not going to survive for a long. This cannot go for long run. So short term goal के लिए ठीक है, आप एक आध प्रोजेक्ट के लिए ऐसा 15 दिन कर दो, अलग बात है, but you cannot do it for your lifetime.
Okay. Thank you, Ruchita ji. Although today's condition of the business is very, very different. It's such a cutthroat competition. One has to give time and one has to think only for that. Otherwise, he or she will be out of from that race which is running. Everyone is running today to reach on top. Thank you very much. Now, in the last round, I would just I want your suggestion or your views what suggestion you want to give or advice you want to give to the youth to become a successful person? Starting from Dr. Rajiv Anand. Dr. Rajiv Anand, what suggestion you would like to give, if one suggestion or two you want to give to our youth?
Read autobiography or biography of as many as people to learn what they go through and how they surmount the obstacles, ethical way or otherwise.
But Dr. Rajiv Anand, then unethical way, which according to Mr. Bhuta, that is not mentioned in the autobiography. Anyway, thank you very much. We will not go in that. Now my question, the same thing to Mr. Ashok Bhuta. What one suggestion you would like to give to the youth? Please unmute. Please unmute. Mr. Bhuta, please unmute. Yes, please.
My suggestion or advice to the younger generation basically is certainly to focus on the success. Not necessarily everything you do, you'll be successful. You get failures too. Learn from your failures and move on. You will succeed positively.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhuta. Mr. Rajeev Maishwari, your take now.
So I would just say one thing in the context of the fact that mental health and those things have become such a big issue for most people. It's still the most unsaid of things. There is a lot of pressure that society puts on everybody to be successful in whatever spheres they are, in the way that society wants them to be successful. I would say only one thing: don't beat yourself up if you're not successful in the eyes of the world, or if you're not subscribing to a standard template or to somebody else's template. Be authentic in what you do. Do what you enjoy, because that makes all the difference in life. If you enjoy what you do and you are even moderately by society standards successful in that, I think it is a much, much better formula for living your life than to follow somebody else's template.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. Now, Ms. Ruchitasha, what's your advice or suggestion to the young generation or to youth?
So for me, one poem of Narendra Modi ji, it's in Gujarati, so I'll say it in Gujarati only and then I'll explain it. जो मेरे लिए बहुत इंस्पिरेशनल होती है हमेशा. प्रारब्ध ने અહીં ગાંઠે કોણ, હું પડકાર ઝીલનારો માણસ છું. मतलब डेस्टिनी की ऐसी की तैसी, आई एम रेडी फॉर चैलेंजेस. मतलब आज की भाषा में यंगस्टर्स की.
ओके, थैंक यू. यस.
और एक लाइन है
जी.
प्रारब्ध ने અહીં ગાંઠે કોણ, હું પડકાર ઝીલનારો માણસ છું. હું તેજ ઉછીનું લઉં નહીં, હું જાતે બળતું ફાનસ છું. मतलब मैं बाहर से लाइट नहीं लेता, मेरे अंदर ही लाइट है. And with that, so I think so we need to focus on that light, and we don't have to be carried away with everything what is going on social media. थोड़ा सा अपने लिए टाइम निकाल के अपने अंदर जो सत्व है उसके ऊपर फोकस.
Okay, thank you very much. So viewers, you have seen today the experts, those who are very, very successful people, they have given their views about the secrets of successful people. And one thing is very, very clear, that success, it doesn't mean that you are successful for yourself. You have to pay back to the society in whatsoever form you want to give. Do it. Then only you are a successful person. You have to keep yourself healthy, as one of our panelists has mentioned very clearly. You have to be ethical. Try to be ethical. Sometimes you have to do the things because of the circumstances, but otherwise, if mentally you are ethical, then definitely you can be successful. And secondly, try to do yourself, achieve something, pursuit of happiness of your own self. If you are enjoying the work, if you feel that this is a work, ethical work which you are doing, it's a good work for the society, for everyone. People may not consider you as a successful person, but for yourself, you are a successful person. So success has nothing to do with fame or with money or bungalows or cars. Success is when you are happy. If you are happy, if you are satisfied because you are giving back to the society, then definitely you are really a successful person. Thank you very much. Today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Carunews, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Sanvad Saroka News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And in our endeavor to bring to you everyday new topic in media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow is a special day in media conference with Lal Goel. Because why it is a special day? Because what happened that about 15 days back, there was a panel discussion on the topic was the big fat Indian wedding. And one of the panelists, she is a leading lawyer in Delhi. She was a panelist. She was giving her views, which were pro big fat wedding. She says it's our pursuit. We can whatsoever we want to do. Why anyone has any objection? And it's our happiness to celebrate the wedding of our children or the child. But my take was different, and I told her that the wedding doesn't mean that you are celebrating and you are showing off. After all, what message we are giving to the society at all. And I also mentioned about Mr. Sushil Modi, the deputy chief, the former deputy chief minister of Bihar, that when his son or daughter, I can't remember at that time, now that when wedding took place, he asked all the guests to fill up the organ donation forms, and it has become a news. And I feel that is a purpose of the wedding. If you are doing something, you must do something for the society. Although I found that she was not happy with my this type of take, I was bit, I will not say rude, but I was a bit straightforward. But then last week she approached me. She says, I want to celebrate my son's 9th birthday on your media conference. I said, sorry, it is not for to celebrating. It's not a personal program. It's something for the society. Now she says, no, I want to create an organ donation awareness program for the birthday. So this is for the first time in the history of media, I'm sure not only in India or globally, that we are celebrating one's 9th birthday live telecast for creating the organ donation awareness. So the topic will be, although it's an organ donation awareness program, birthday celebration to create organ donation awareness. And our guest is, she is Advocate Nidhi Banga. She is Central Government Counsel, Supreme Court of India, as well as Delhi High Court, with her son, Master Shabijit Singh. He is studying in grade 4th, and he is celebrating 9th birthday on 14/4/2022, that is tomorrow. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. for this special program. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Bhuta. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. And thank you very much, Ms. Ruchitasha, for enlightening all of us about the secret of success for a successful pupil. And I am sure that today's program is very enlightening for all our viewers, and many of them, if they follow the secrets what you have mentioned, will be successful. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for watching our show.
Outside the country as well.
Tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. for this special program. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Bhuta. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajeev Maishwari. And thank you very much, Ms. Ruchitasha, for enlightening all of us about the secret of success for a successful pupil. And I am sure that today's program is very enlightening for all our viewers, and many of them, if they follow the secrets what you have mentioned, will be successful. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for watching our show.